Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Simple English Cast, the podcast where you improve your English through calm conversations about real life.
And where we talk slowly, clearly, and honestly about things that actually matter in daily life.
Exactly. My name is Alex.
And I'm Meera.
Today, we want to start with a small question for you.
Yes, a very simple question, but also a very honest one.
When you wake up in the morning, what is the very first thing you usually do?
Let me guess, Alex. Most people are probably thinking about their phone.
Exactly. The alarm rings, the hand reaches for the phone, and suddenly you're scrolling.
Checking messages, notifications, social media, emails, maybe even news.
And before your brain is even fully awake, the world is already inside your head.
Yes, sometimes it feels like the day starts running before we even stand up.
I remember a time when my mornings looked exactly like that.
Really? So your first habit in the morning was scrolling?
Yes, and honestly, it felt normal. Everyone around me was doing the same thing.
That's true. Many habits feel normal simply because everyone else is doing them.
But one day, I asked myself a strange question.
What kind of question?
If the first thing I feed my brain every day is noise, how can I expect to feel calm?
That is a powerful question.
And that question started a small experiment in my life.
So today's episode is about that experiment?
Yes, but not just one habit. We want to talk about 8 small habits that can slowly change your life.
And the key word here is small.
Exactly. No dramatic overnight transformation.
No, change your entire life in 7 days.
Just simple actions repeated many times.
Because real change is usually quiet and slow.
And the beautiful part is that while listening, you will also improve your English.
We will speak in clear, natural English, explain useful phrases, and repeat important ideas.
So if you are learning English, this episode is perfect for you.
And if you are simply curious about improving your habits, this episode is also for you.
Before we begin, we have a small reflection for you.
Yes, think about this question while listening.
Which habit in your life helps you the most?
And which habit quietly makes your life harder?
You don't need to answer now.
Just keep the question somewhere in your mind.
All right, Meera, are you ready to start with the first habit?
Yes, let's begin.
So, Meera, what is the first habit that changed your daily life?
For me, it was learning to start the morning without immediately looking at my phone.
That sounds simple, but also very difficult.
Exactly, because the phone is always next to the bed.
And the brain loves easy stimulation.
Yes, bright screens, new information, endless scrolling.
Why did you decide to change that habit?
One morning, I noticed something strange.
What did you notice?
I woke up feeling calm, but just 10 minutes of scrolling, I already felt stressed.
Interesting. Nothing bad had happened yet.
Exactly, but my brain had already seen dozens of messages, headlines, and opinions.
So your brain went from silence to chaos very quickly.
Yes, and that made me wonder, what if the first minutes of the day are actually very powerful?
That's a good point. The mind is still fresh and quiet.
Exactly, so I decided to try something different.
What did you try?
For the first 20 minutes after waking up, I simply stayed away from my phone.
What did you do instead?
Sometimes I stretched my body.
Like a simple morning stretch?
Yes, nothing complicated.
Did you also think about your plans for the day?
Sometimes, other times I just sat quietly with a cup of tea.
That sounds peaceful.
It was surprisingly peaceful.
Did it change how the rest of your day felt?
Yes, very much.
In what way?
When the day begins calmly, your brain feels more stable.
So the day feels less chaotic.
Exactly.
This reminds me of an interesting idea.
Which idea?
Our brain loves progress.
Yes, even tiny progress.
When we move forward even a little bit, motivation grows.
That's why better questions can create better habits.
All right, Meera, let's move to the second habit.
This one is about the questions we ask ourselves.
Questions can really shape our thinking.
Yes, because the brain automatically tries to answer them.
Can you give an example?
Of course.
Let's imagine someone wakes up and asks themselves, "Why am I always tired?"
The brain immediately starts searching for reasons.
Exactly. The mind will say things like, "You didn't sleep enough," or "Your life is too stressful."
But that question keeps the person stuck in the problem.
So what would be a better question?
Instead of asking, "Why am I always tired?" you could ask, "What is one small thing can give me more energy today?"
That changes the direction of thinking.
Yes, now the brain looks for solutions.
Maybe drink more water?
Maybe go outside for a short walk?
Maybe sleep earlier tonight.
Exactly.
So the habit is learning to ask questions that move you forward.
Yes,
Do you personally practice this habit?
I try to.
What kind of questions do you ask yourself?
One question I often ask is, what is one small step I can take today?
That's a very practical question.
Because big goals can feel overwhelming.
But small steps feel possible.
Exactly.
This reminds me of something interesting.
What is it?
Our brain loves progress.
Yes, even tiny progress.
When we move forward even a little bit, motivation grows.
That's why better questions can create better habits.
Both habits sound simple, but they can slowly reshape how we think.
Exactly. And now we are moving to the third habit, which is very connected to how we use our attention.
Attention is something we rarely think about, but it is incredibly valuable.
In fact, some people say attention is the most valuable resource we have today.
I completely agree with that. So, Meera, what does it actually mean to protect your attention?
Protecting your attention means being careful about what you allow into your mind.
That sounds almost like protecting a garden.
Yes, that is a perfect example.
In a garden, you choose which plants to grow.
Exactly. And you also remove the weeds.
So, in the mind, attention works in a similar way.
Yes, if we constantly allow distractions, negativity, and noise into our minds, those things grow.
But if we choose carefully what we focus on, our thinking becomes clearer.
Right.
When did you first realize the importance of attention?
It happened during a period when I felt extremely distracted all the time.
What kind of distractions?
Messages, notifications, social media, news alerts, emails.
That sounds familiar to many people.
Yes, my phone was constantly demanding my attention.
And what effect did that have on you?
I noticed that it was becoming harder to concentrate on anything.
Even simple tasks?
Yes, reading a book for 20 minutes felt difficult.
That is interesting.
My mind kept jumping from one thought to another.
Like a browser with too many open tabs.
Exactly like that.
So what did you decide to change?
I decided to reduce the number of interruptions during my day.
How did you do that?
First, I turned off most notifications on my phone.
That sounds like a small step, but probably a powerful one.
It was surprisingly powerful.
Did it feel strange at first?
Very strange.
Why?
Because I was used to constant updates.
So silence felt unusual.
Yes, but after a few days, it started to feel peaceful.
Did you also change anything else?
Yes, I created small blocks of time where I focused on only one task.
That sounds like something many productivity experts recommend.
Yes, but the important thing is actually doing it.
True.
For example, if I wanted to read, I would place my phone in another room.
That removes temptation.
Exactly.
Did your concentration improve?
Very much.
That's interesting because many people believe they're good at multitasking.
But in reality, the brain does not truly multitask.
It simply switches very quickly between tasks.
And that switching costs energy.
So protecting attention means reducing those unnecessary switches.
Yes.
This reminds me of a phrase, Attention is like a spotlight.
That's a great metaphor.
Wherever the spotlight shines becomes bright and important.
Exactly. And everything outside the spotlight fades into the background.
So if we constantly move the spotlight, nothing receives full attention.
That's right.
What advice would you give someone who feels constantly distracted?
Start with a very small rule.
What rule?
Choose one activity each day that receives your full attention.
Just one?
Yes, maybe reading, exercising, cooking, or studying.
And during that time, remove distractions.
Exactly.
That sounds simple but powerful.
Many life changes begin with simple decisions.
All right, Meera, let's talk about the fourth habit.
This one is about how we think about progress.
Progress is something everyone wants.
Yes, but many people want it too quickly.
That's very true.
We live in a culture that celebrates fast success.
Instant results, overnight achievements.
Exactly.
But real growth rarely happens that way.
Most meaningful progress is slow.
So habit 4 is learning to enjoy slow progress.
Yes,
Why is that difficult for people?
because slow progress often feels invisible.
That's interesting.
For example, imagine someone learning a language.
Like the listeners of this podcast.
Exactly.
At the beginning, improvement feels exciting.
Yes, you quickly learn new words and phrases.
But after some time, progress becomes slower.
And some learners become frustrated.
They feel stuck,
But in reality, their brain is still growing.
just more slowly and deeply.
Exactly.
Do you have an example from your own life?
Yes, when I started running.
Running is a great example.
At first, I could only run for a few minutes.
That must have felt challenging.
Very challenging.
Did you feel discouraged?
Sometimes.
So what helped you continue?
I stopped focusing on speed and distance.
What did you focus on instead?
Consistency.
That's an important word,
Consistency means repeating an action regularly.
even if the progress feels small.
Exactly.
What happened after a few months?
One day, I realized something surprising.
What happened?
Running for 30 minutes suddenly felt normal.
That's a huge improvement.
Yes, but it happened slowly.
So slowly that you almost didn't notice it.
Exactly.
That is the beauty of slow progress.
It quietly transforms your abilities.
I think many people quit too early because they expect quick results.
Yes, patience is becoming a rare skill.
But patience allows progress to grow.
Like planting a tree.
A tree does not grow overnight.
But if you water it regularly, it becomes strong.
So the habit is to appreciate small steps.
Yes,
Celebrate consistency, not just big achievements.
exactly.
And now we are moving into habit number 5.
This one is very interesting because it's not about time, money, or productivity.
So what is it about?
It's about people.
All right, Meera. When you say environment, what do you mean exactly?
When I say environment, I mean the people around you, the conversations you hear, and the atmosphere you live in.
So it's not just about the physical place.
Exactly. It's also about the social environment.
That makes sense.
Because humans are extremely influenced by the people around them.
Yes, I've heard a famous idea about this.
Which idea?
That you become similar to the people you spend the most time with.
Yes, that idea appears in many psychology studies.
It's almost like habits are contagious.
That's actually a very good way to describe it.
Can you explain what you mean by contagious habits?
Sure. Imagine you spend a lot of time with people who exercise regularly.
Eventually, that behavior starts to feel normal.
Exactly. You may start exercising more yourself.
But the opposite can also happen.
Yes.
If you spend time with people who constantly complain, you might begin to complain more.
Right.
If everyone around you procrastinates, procrastination starts to feel normal.
That's the power of environment.
Did you ever experience this in your own life?
Yes, actually I did.
Tell us about it.
Several years ago, I joined a small writing group.
A writing group sounds interesting.
Yes, it was a group of people who met once a week to talk about writing.
Were they professional writers?
Some were, but many were simply people who enjoyed writing.
So what changed after joining the group?
Before joining the group, I always said I wanted to write more.
But you didn't actually write much.
Exactly.
That sounds familiar to many people.
But once I started spending time with people who were writing regularly, something changed.
What changed?
Writing began to feel normal.
Not something difficult or special.
Exactly. It just became part of life.
That shows how powerful environment can be.
Yes, environment quietly shapes our behavior.
So the habit here is to be more intentional about the people and environments we choose.
Exactly.
But some people might say, I cannot change the people around me.
That's true in some situations.
For example, at work or in family situations.
Yes.
So what can someone do in that case?
They can still add positive environments to their life.
What do you mean by that?
They might join a club, an online community, or a learning group.
So they create a small environment that supports their goals.
Exactly.
That sounds very practical.
Even listening to thoughtful podcasts can be part of your environment.
I like that idea.
Because the voices you hear regularly influence your thinking.
So, environment is not only physical.
Yes, it can also be mental and digital.
That's a great insight. All right, Meera, let's move to habit number 6.
This one is about reflection.
Reflection is something many people forget to do.
Yes, because modern life moves very quickly.
People move from one task to the next without stopping.
Exactly.
But what does reflection actually mean?
Reflection means taking time to think about your experiences.
Almost like looking at your life from a small distance.
That's a good way to describe it.
Why is reflection important?
Because experience alone does not always create learning.
That sounds interesting.
For example, someone might repeat the same mistake many times.
But if they never reflect, they might not notice the pattern.
Exactly.
So, reflection helps us understand what is actually happening in our lives.
Yes,
Do you practice reflection regularly?
I try to.
How do you do it?
One method I like is journaling.
Writing your thoughts down.
Exactly.
What kind of things do you write about?
Sometimes I write about the events of the day.
Like a daily record.
Yes, but I also ask myself questions.
What kind of questions?
Questions like, what went well today?
That's a positive question.
Yes, and another question is, what could I do better next time?
That invites learning.
Exactly.
How long does this reflection usually take?
Sometimes just 10 minutes.
That's not very long.
No, but it can be very powerful.
Why do you think writing is helpful for reflection?
Because writing slows down your thinking.
That's true.
When thoughts stay in your head, they can feel messy.
But when you write them, they become clearer.
Exactly.
Do you think reflection always needs to involve writing?
Not necessarily. What are some other ways to reflect?
Some people reflect during quiet walks.
Walking can create space for thinking.
Others reflect through conversation with a trusted friend.
Talking things through can reveal new insights. Exactly.
So, reflection is simply the habit of pausing and thinking about your experiences,
Yes.
instead of moving through life automatically.
Right.
It sounds like reflection helps transform experience into wisdom.
That's a beautiful way to say it.
So let's begin with habit number 7. Many people find this habit extremely difficult.
Yes. Saying no can be surprisingly hard.
Why do you think that is?
Because most people want to be liked.
That's true.
And saying no sometimes feels like disappointing someone.
So people often say yes, even when they don't really want to.
Exactly.
Have you ever experienced this in your own life?
Oh, yes, many times.
Can you give an example?
A few years ago, I used to accept almost every request people made.
What kind of requests?
Helping with projects, attending events, joining meetings, doing favors.
That sounds exhausting.
It became exhausting.
Did you notice any consequences?
Yes, my schedule became extremely crowded.
Meaning you had very little free time.
Exactly.
And how did that affect you?
I started feeling constantly tired and stressed.
That's understandable.
And the strange thing was that many of those activities were not actually important to me.
So you were spending energy on things that did not match your priorities.
Exactly.
When did you realize that something needed to change?
One evening, I looked at my calendar and noticed something surprising.
What did you notice?
Almost every hour of my week was already scheduled.
That must have felt overwhelming.
It did.
So what did you decide to do?
I decided to start practicing a simple skill.
And that skill was saying no.
Yes,
Was it difficult at the beginning?
very difficult.
Why?
Because I worried that people might feel offended.
That's a common fear.
Yes, but I slowly learned something important.
What did you learn?
Saying no to one thing means saying yes to something else.
That's an interesting way to think about it.
For example, if I say no to an unnecessary meeting, I say yes to my own time.
Yes to rest.
Yes to focus.
Yes to personal projects.
Exactly.
So saying no is not negative.
Not at all.
It is actually a form of protection.
Yes, protection of your time and energy.
Do you have any advice for someone who struggles with saying no?
Start with polite honesty.
What does that look like?
For example, you might say, I appreciate the invitation, but I cannot commit to that right now.
That sounds respectful and clear.
Exactly.
And the more you practice, the easier it becomes.
Yes, it becomes a normal part of life.
I think this habit is extremely important in modern life.
I agree.
Now, let's talk about our final habit.
This one is about how we use our resources.
Resources like time and money.
Exactly.
So, what is the core idea of this habit?
The idea is simple. Invest more in skills and experiences than in material objects.
That sounds interesting.
Many people spend a lot of money on things.
Clothes, gadgets, decorations.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying nice things.
Of course.
But objects often bring only temporary satisfaction.
That's true.
Skills, on the other hand, continue to benefit you for many years.
Can you give an example?
Learning a language is a great example.
That's very relevant for our listeners.
Exactly.
When you learn a language, the benefits continue for a lifetime.
You can communicate with new people.
You can travel more confidently.
You can access books, films, and ideas from different cultures.
That's a powerful advantage.
Another example could be learning communication skills.
Public speaking, for example.
Yes,
Or learning how to write clearly.
these skills improve many areas of life.
Career opportunities, relationships, confidence.
Exactly.
So the habit is to think carefully before spending resources.
Yes.
Ask yourself a simple question.
What question?
Will this purchase still help me in a few years?
That's a very good question,
If the answer is yes, it might be a good investment
especially if it builds a skill.
because skills compound over time,
Exactly.
just like small habits compound.
That's a beautiful connection.
So now we are going to do a short word tour.
A word tour means we take a few important words from today's episode and explain them clearly.
This helps you understand them deeply and use them in real conversations.
So, if you want, you can even repeat the words after us.
All right, Meera, let's start with the first word.
The first word is environment.
Environment usually means the surroundings where something happens,
For example, the environment can be physical,
like your home, your office, or your city.
but environment can also mean the social atmosphere around you.
For example, the people you spend time with.
Here is a simple sentence.
Your environment can influence your habits.
Repeat the word.
Environment.
Environment.
Our next word is consistency.
Consistency means doing something regularly and repeatedly over time.
Not once or twice, but again and again.
Consistency is the foundation of most skills.
For example, someone who practices a language every day improves faster.
Here is a sentence example.
Consistency is more powerful than motivation.
Repeat the word.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Our next word is reflection.
Reflection means thinking carefully about your experiences.
It is a moment when you pause and analyze what happened.
Reflection helps people learn from their actions.
For example, many successful people keep journals.
They write about their thoughts and lessons.
Here is a sentence example.
Reflection helps us turn experience into wisdom.
Repeat the word. Reflection.
Reflection.
The next word is priority.
A priority is something that is more important than other things.
When something is a priority, it deserves your time and attention.
For example, health might be a priority for many people.
Or learning new skills.
Here is a sentence example.
Understanding your priorities helps you make better decisions.
Repeat the word.
Priority.
Priority.
Our last word is intentional.
Intentional means doing something with clear purpose.
Not by accident, but by conscious choice.
For example, someone may live an intentional life.
Meaning they make thoughtful decisions about how they spend their time.
Here is a sentence example. She tries to be intentional about her daily habits.
Repeat the word. Intentional.
Intentional.
Now, before we finish, we want to ask you a small reflection question.
Yes.
Out of the 8 habits we discussed today, which one feels most important to you right now?
Maybe it is protecting your attention?
Maybe it is learning to say no.
Or maybe it is creating a better environment around you.
You don't need to change everything at once.
Real change usually begins with one small step,
One small habit.
repeated many times.
I think the most important idea from today's episode is that change does not have to be dramatic.
Yes, change can be quiet and gradual.
Small habits are like seeds,
At first, they look tiny and unimportant.
but with time, they grow into something powerful.
Exactly.
And the same is true for learning English.
You improve little by little.
One conversation,
One new word.
one episode at a time. Thank you for spending this time with us today.
We truly appreciate every listener who joins these conversations.
If this episode helped you practice English and think about your habits, we're very happy.
And remember, progress does not need to be fast.
It only needs to be consistent.
This is Meera,
And this is Alex.
and you have been listening to Simple English Cast.
Take care of your mind
Take care of your habits.
and take care of your English.
Goodbye.
And we'll see you in the next episode.